Hello and welcome to episode 3 of the Celtic Cast On podcast. My name is Kelly and you can find me on Instagram and Ravelry as Celtic Cast On. I'm here today with my co-host, Boston. I forgot to show him to you several times before until after I was done recording. Oh, there you go. Say hello. So I thought I'd show him to you today before I got started. So, it has been several weeks since I last talked to you. I think the last time I podcast, I was actually 38, maybe 39 weeks pregnant. So since then, I have had a baby, and it was a boy. On April 6th, I went into labor, and he came out like a rocket. But we are all surviving. I'm lacking a bit of sleep, but we're getting by, and he's doing great. He's gaining weight, and he's happy. Big sister is very happy, loves her baby, and wants to do everything for him, so that works out well in my case. And big furry brother is doing well too. He's moving along. Every time I go somewhere to feed, he's right along there with me, going to help out. So yeah, so we're in a bit of a baby fog. Other than that, I haven't had a lot of crafting time. What I have had has had to have been very mindless because I just don't have the energy or the brain power for it at the minute. But hopefully that will get better as he gets some more sleep. So let's jump right in because I don't want him to start crying because I've tried to podcast about 5 times now. So I'm going to start off with a little podcast and Instagram love. I've had a couple of people in the last week give me a little shout out, and it's really made my day and put a smile on my face. So I just wanted to say hello and thank them. So the first one is Crafternoon Treats podcast. She's a crochet podcast, and this week on Instagram she put out a little shout out for me to all of her followers. So that was super nice. And yeah, she's really into crochet, and it's actually funny because the day that she put that on Instagram, I actually was watching her podcast that morning. Kay from the Bakery Bears had mentioned her and mentioned that it was all about crochet. So I had a look, and she had an episode called Blankets. I think it was all about blankets or blankets and more. So I was actually watching that at the same time that she was watching mine. So that was pretty cool. So hi, Catherine, and thank you for your shout out. It was super nice to get, especially when I was completely exhausted. The next one is someone, I'm thinking she kind of found out about me through Catherine as well. On Instagram, she is Grandma and Me, and she had a shout out for me as well and said that she's a crocheter, and she said that I inspired her to start knitting after 10 years of no knitting. So that was kind of cool. If I can inspire people to be crafty and more creative and try new things and pick up things that you haven't worked on in a while, then that's pretty awesome. So hello to, I think it's is it Elaine or Eileen? I forgot to write it down. I'll put it up here. You'll see your proper name. Thank you. So oh yes, 2 more shout outs. I just wanted to mention, everybody mentions kind of podcasts that they watch. I'm pretty picky about podcasts. But the 2 that I'm loving right now, other than the Bakery Bears, I love the Bakery Bears podcast. I think it's really well done and creates a lot of laughs each week. I found Kay really funny. I don't know, there was a little bit of spunk about her this week. So other than the Bakery Bears, I've been really enjoying the Grocery Girls podcast, as have millions of other people. They're 2 sisters, and they just have a really great chemistry together, and they're really spunky and fun, and I'm really enjoying it. The other one is Shannon from Socksetera. I should mention that both of these podcasts are Canadian. Grocery Girls are out, I think they're in Alberta. Did I get that right? I think so. And Shannon, I think, is in Vancouver, BC. And Shannon's from Socksetera podcast. And she is primarily knitting, and she does some other kind of cool things that I haven't seen on other podcasts before. And she's got a great personality too. You can't not like her. So check those out if you have a second. So let's jump right in so I can get this done and edited and out to you. I have an FO! Woo! I didn't have an FO the first couple of times that I actually podcast. And since then, I have completed it. So it's kind of a good deal if this one works out. So this is the, oh gosh, I'm brain farting already. This is the Masco shawl by Justina Lorkowski. I had just started this last podcast, but before I had the baby, it was so mindless to knit, and I loved it so much, and I could pick it up and put it down whenever I felt like it, and it was just exactly what I needed at that time to knit on. So here it is in all its glory. It's quite huge. And this is knit in Cascade Heritage in 3 different colorways. I'll show you the colors up close. So the navy is 5623. The gray is called Steel. It's 5602. And no, sorry, that's the light blue is called Steel for some reason. 5602. And the gray is called Limestone, and it's 5681. So that's it finished. It wasn't that big before I blocked it, and I was kind of worried because hers was huge in the picture, but once I blocked it, that garter stitch just bounced right out. So it's a great big shawl. Now normally I just wear them as a scarf, so that's probably how I will do it, and it will be great for the winter to keep me cozy. It will also be great in the fall when it gets chilly out, and in the spring when it's still chilly and not warm enough. So this is a 3-season knit, so shawls are kind of a no-brainer for me. They work well all the time. And since I've had a little bear tucked into me all the time when I'm feeding him, whenever I put him down somewhere or somebody else takes him, I'm freezing. So I've been wearing this around the house too lately because I'm just cold when I don't have him on me. So that's my FO. Justina is Letty's Knits on Ravelry. You need to check her out. She has awesome patterns, and she releases shawls like every week. She's that good. So there are tons of more of her shawls that I would love to knit, and probably will. I'm kind of dreaming, of a red shawl right now. I don't know why, but I don't have a red shawl, and red is a color that people say looks good on me, so I'd like to knit a red one. I'm just not sure what pattern yet. I've been kind of humming around with Melanie Berg patterns. I love her patterns. I knit Drachenfels in the summer for a swap that I did, and I loved it so much I didn't want to give it away. And actually, Natasha from the Wool Gathering podcast is the recipient of that shawl, so you might have already seen it. So I was kind of wondering if I should knit myself one of those, or if I should knit one of her other patterns, because again, she has so many beautiful shawls, or if I should knit another Justina shawl. I'm just not sure yet, but I know that I want it to be red. And that is a problem because I don't think I have any red fingering weight yarn in my stash. It might have to be put on hold for now, but we'll see. When it comes to me what pattern, then that's the time that it's going to be knit. You also need to check out Justina's husband has started dyeing yarn, and it's called, I think he's calling it, well, I don't know, I shouldn't say this. I shouldn't say that. I'm not sure if his yarn company is going to be called Martin's Lab, or if he's just nicknaming it Martin's Lab right now. And it's probably Martin, because he's from Poland. But anyway, You need to check it out. He is dyeing up a storm, beautiful colorways. They are building a knitting empire, let me tell you. He also is the one who usually takes her photography pictures as well. So yeah, they've got it all going on. Anyway, check them out. So that's my only FO that I have this week. I'm also wearing, probably someone will ask, see if I can get it in the picture. This is my Lady Sunnyside by Tanis Fiber Arts. I did this as a test knit for her quite a few summers ago. Now this is looking quite small on me right now, but it's only because I'm feeding and I still have a little bit of baby weight, so I'm not usually this big. So I knit, this is a 34, and I would usually be about a 32, so the 34 would be a little bit loose on me. Anyway, this is her cardigan that I knit. I love it. It's super comfy, and it's knit in Tanis Fiber Arts green label, Aran weight, and it's called, the colorway is called Garnet. So her colorways are not quite variegated, but sometimes they do have a variegation like this one does. There's quite a few different colors in there. So what I did was knit from both balls at the same time. So I would knit a row with one ball, knit a row with another ball, and alternate as I went, just so that it doesn't cause a lot of striping in the body. That's my beef with variegated yarns, is that it causes big stripes and differences that I don't like. So this turned out really well, and like I said, I love it. It's a super comfy over your t-shirt, or you can dress it up. It's worth knitting it for sure. There is also a baby Sunnyside cardigan, and it's the exact same pattern but just for babies. She does actually include, I did the lace section down here and here. There's also a cable section, which I think she did in her green version for the pattern. But I wanted to do the lace version instead. So you could possibly get 2 cardigans out of the one pattern if you changed it up. And you could even add, excuse me, anything in there that you wanted. You could change that up a million times. So check out Tanis's patterns as well. I've done a lot of test knitting for her in the past, and she does great patterns. I guess we'll move on to whips. I have a couple of whips to show you, and I think pretty much all of them you have seen or have seen what I was going to start. So let's start, we'll just go along the row. This is my little bag that Sarah made me. Still going strong. I love the size of this bag, it's super cute. So the first one I have is Fine and Dandy Socks. This is by the Sweater Co. And there are 2 KLs going on with this right now, and tons of people are knitting them. So I did get a start. I'll show you my progress. I should have brought my soft blockers. Here we go. So that's the progress that I have so far. Now the pattern is written bottom up, toe up. I'm knitting these top down because toe up socks just don't work for me. They don't fit right. So I just basically am adding this daisy stitch pattern into my regular sock pattern. I did the leg a little bit shorter than usual, but I think it's going to work out fine. And I'm just almost done the heel flap, ready to start the heel. So the gray that I'm using is Patton's Croy in Gentry Gray, and the pinky peachy color is Knit Pick Stroll, and that's in Dogwood Heather. So that's sock number 1. Once I get past the gusset, I always find that socks go by much quicker, but the gusset is the killer for me. I always get stalled on the gusset because I like to do it all in one go, so I don't mess up where I am, and I don't always have the time to do the gusset all in one go, so that's why they have to sit around sometimes for a while before they get finished. that's number 1. Number 2, zip bag. Number 2 is in my Eldenwood Crafts bag. Emma, the birdie bag. Love those birdies. And in here are the Luna socks that I started. I think I showed this to you last time as well. So like I said, this is a great first Fair Isle pattern. Just a little bit of color work on the top and a little bit right before the toe, and the rest is just a plain sock. And this is by Josephine and the Seeds. I have a little bit more of this one done. And once this blocks out, it will look much nicer, but that's the color work so far. And it's got a little eye of partridge heel, which is cute as well. And I'm just about to start the gusset. Those darn gussets. So the yarn for this one is again Knit Pick Stroll. The gray is Dove Heather, the best gray sock yarn there is. And the green is called Tranquil, and that's also in Knit Pick Stroll. So once I get by that gusset, I almost have a finished sock. Then I can start number 2. Alright. I have one more knitting whip, and I just started it 2 days ago. 2 days ago, I fell flat on my face. I have been avoiding this, I've been avoiding starting this project for a long time. And Shannon from Socksetera just started a Blanket Blitz Cal, as well as the Grocery Girls started knitting the same thing, and everyone on Instagram was showing pictures of their blankets, and I fell flat on my face and started a Cozy Memories blanket. So this is the progress I have so far. I don't have my ends woven in yet, as you can see, but I'm just enjoying joining colors. Now, I'm kind of thinking I'm going to be picky with this one. I have a crocheted granny square blanket started as well. Kay from the Bakery Bears was doing those a while ago, and I just got sucked into that as well. That one has stripes and all different kinds of yarn. I wasn't really picky with it, but this one I think I want to stick to solids and semi-solids. I don't know, they're just more pleasing to my eye. We'll see how it goes, but that's kind of how I started. So this yellow is actually a yarn that I hand dyed years ago, and it's not coming out as vibrant as it is maybe there. I adore this yellow dye job that I did. I knit a pair of socks with it. Actually, it was a Tanis Fiber Arts pattern patina socks, and those are my favorite socks. They are my happy socks. Every time I put them on my feet, they make me smile. And I just had to add a little square of it into my blanket. So that's the first one. And this one and this one are Tanis Fiber Arts, as well as this one. This one's Brick. I'm not sure of the name on this one, and this one is Grapefruit. This is the blue that I knit the baby sweater for my neighbors. Added that in there, and then this green, I'm not 100% sure what that one was. It was just in my stash. So that's what I've got so far, 6 squares. We will see how I go. It's kind of addictive. I enjoy picking out what color I'm going to put in next. I don't like it to be random. I enjoy the trying different colors beside each other and seeing what looks best. I think the next one, I'm going to put this brown in beside the green, I think. So I need another color for in here. And then I have my shawl scraps as well that I can put in too. So it's going to be a fun project. I just need to keep going with my other projects and not forget about them while I'm doing this. That's going to be the issue, because once I start something new, I always just want to knit on it. So we'll see how I go. So that's my blanket, and it's in my Maple Moose Fibers bag from Michelle. All right. What else do I have? So that's it for knitting whips. I have my cross stitch that I wanted to show you. I got a little bit more done on it than last time. Not a whole lot. I'm still way behind. They've just released clue number 5, and it's Greece, and it's a donkey. I die. Donkeys are my favorite animal. I would love to have a donkey sanctuary or farm with donkeys. Someday I will. I actually have a picture. It's a clipping from a newspaper when my dad was a little boy, and it was his grandfather and him in a cart that they had made. It was a donkey cart, and there was a donkey pulling it, their donkey. And it said something like Master, and then his last name. I don't remember what it said. Something about being out in the donkey cart for the day. So maybe that's where my love of donkeys comes from. I don't know, but I'd love to have them. So I need to get this done so I can get to clue number 5 and stitch that donkey. Here we go. So this is Frosted Pumpkin Stitchery's Pumpkin Passport. It's a 1 clue a month stitch along, and they send it to you right in your email, and you add it in, and at the end of the year then you have a completed project. So I started late, so I don't have even clue number 1 done yet, but I'm working on it. So the letters are going to say let's go on an adventure. So it's going to go all the way across here, and all the way across the top the little girl on the scooter is going to be, it looks like she's driving by all these places on her passport, and then they're going to be at the bottom here too, going that way. So this is the little girl on the scooter I got done. I can't see what I'm doing. There she is. The scooter was actually supposed to be pink or red, I think, but my daughter, this is for my daughter's room, so she changed up the colors. She likes green and blue right now, so we've got a green scooter and a purple and white outfit for her. And I'm just about to start England here on the corner. This is the Thames. So if I get my butt in gear, maybe I could get to that donkey soon. Jeepers. Okay. Those are my whips. Let me check my notes and see what else I've got going on. All right, let's go into questions. I have one question that I wanted to address this week. I have a thread in the Celtic Cast On podcast group on Ravelry. If you go there, you can ask me any questions and I can answer them here on the podcast if you're interested. So I have one question, and it was from Robin from New York, North Carolina. She's the flock on Ravelry. She asked, how do I knit and get so much accomplished? When I first came to Canada, I have talked about before that in the previous episodes that I was taught to knit in school, and it was all part of the program. Boys and girls knew how to knit, to sew, to cross stitch. So anyway, I was taught to knit, and I was taught to knit like this. So I would hold the needles like this, and I would throw with my little finger. When I came to Canada, I was watching my aunt knit, and she was knitting so much faster than me, and I was just watching and watching, and I thought, jeepers, I'd like to be able to knit that fast. And I looked at her hands, and she was holding the needles like this. So I decided I was going to knit that fast too, and I changed my hands to this. Now, fast forward years and years, because I just kind of dabbled at knitting back and forth, but I didn't become truly addicted until about 2006, I think. And that's when I started doing, well, not then, probably about 4 or 5 years later, I started doing a lot of test knits. and I needed to be quick with them. There was a quick turnaround, but I needed to get it done in a timely manner. I figured out that if I kept my arms in by my sides and just used my fingers to knit, I could knit so much faster than if I was doing bigger motions with my body. So basically, I just honed in the skill of keeping everything still, and that's how I was able to get so many stitches. And the more test knits that I did, the faster I got with the technique. And that's basically how I get so much accomplished. I kind of just worked at it, and it gets quicker with time. Now, people say that pickers who hold the yarn in this hand and pick it up are quicker at knitting, but I don't agree with that. They are quick knitters, but I think that they have honed in their skill for throwing with this or picking with this hand, just like I have with throwing with this hand. So I don't think that this side is faster than this side. I just think that they have worked at perfecting what they need to get quicker at what they were doing. So that is how I knit, and that is how I get so much accomplished. I hope I answered your question. And if you have any other questions, feel free to ask me, and I will try to answer them for you. Moving along, I have a new section, and I'm going to call it Squirrel. And squirrel is the things that catch my eye. So maybe it's a pattern that's been released on Ravelry that week. Maybe it's a yarn that I saw for the first time and love, or a colorway that I love, and I want to share with you. So the first one, I guess the only one I want to share with you this week, is a new pattern that's been released with the Amoruzu magazine. Now this is a Japanese magazine, and I think it's released quarterly. So the newest one is out, and I think it's spring/summer 2016. They have a cardigan in there called Wisteria. It's by Amy Christophers. She is from the States, and she is part of the Barocco design team. I saw this cardigan. It's actually on the cover of the magazine. And as soon as I saw the cardigan, I said, that is exactly what I want to knit this summer. I want to be wearing that. It uses sport-DK weight cotton, and it's actually a Barocco yarn that they use called, I think it's called Corsica. I think so. But our LYS's, local yarn shops, they don't carry a lot of summer yarn, which is odd. I don't know why, really. They carry all kinds of woolly yarns, but when it comes to summer yarns, I guess people don't knit as much in the summer, but I'd like to knit something to wear in the summer. I don't exactly have to knit it in the summer, but it's frustrating. I could order it online, but our dollar is really bad right now, and that plus the shipping from the States just isn't worth it. So I'm trying to find yarns that I can use, preferably from my stash, that will work. So I was thinking about what I had in my stash, and I did start a dress, and this was when my daughter was little, 3 or 4 maybe, and I still haven't finished it. I basically just have to do a little crocheted edging around it. But it's called Jill's Dress, and it's from Modern Top Down Knitting. So I've got the body all finished, I think in length, and then you kind of do crocheted seams to make it look fitted. But one, I can't wear a dress right now because I'm breastfeeding. So I'm going to be breastfeeding for a year, so that's this summer out. So I won't be able to wear the dress even if I did finish it. And two, I will get so much more wear out of a cardigan, and I'll be able to wear it now than I would with a dress. So I'm thinking, this is the yarn that I was knitting the dress with. It's called Elspeth Lavold Silky Wool. Now, anybody that has knit with this before will know that it is super duper light. I have a cardigan made out of this already. It's super light, you feel like you're wearing nothing, and it will be perfect for summer. It's kind of got a bit of a tweedy look to it, and it's a lovely purple. So I'm thinking if I can get gauge, I'm going to use this, and that dress will be toast, and I will be happy in my new cardigan. It's also a lace cardigan, so I'm kind of wondering how much I'm actually going to get finished, but I'm going to try. Oh, also, the magazine is out now, but to get the patterns separately, we have to wait until June 1st. So I am biting my nails waiting for June 1st so I can get that cardigan on the go. So Silky Wool, that's what I'm planning to do, and hopefully I will get gauge and it will work out for me. I do have a knit along that I had talked about in the last episode started. It's called the Finish That Whip KAL, and originally it was going to go until May 15th. I'm going to extend that until May 30th because I haven't got anything finished or started. Originally I was going to be knitting on my sweater. I brought the sweater to show you. So this is the Land Girl cardigan, and it's from, I'm not exactly sure of the designer. It's kind of I think it's a Japanese name, but this was in a Simply Knitting magazine. So this is the body. It's knit in one piece up to the armholes, and then you start decreasing, and then you do the sleeves separately, you add them on. So this is what I've started, and I did pick it up before the baby was born, and I had a look, and I could not for the life of me figure out where I was. I know I'm at the decrease point here on the edges, but I just can't figure out where exactly. And I didn't have the headspace to try and figure it out. So I started a sleeve, and I thought, well, maybe I can do the sleeves. And I just don't have the headspace for cables right now either. I don't have the time, because by the time I sit down and figure out where I am, it's time to get up and feed again. So we're going to pack this one away for now. I'll bring it out maybe closer to the fall, and I will get it finished for sure. I love it. The yarn is Debbie Bliss Fez. This is actually discontinued, I believe. That's what it is. Color number 105. It's an extra fine merino. It's 85% and 15% camel. I wasn't sure how this was going to knit up, and I thought it was going to be really drapey when I first started, but the cables are really popping. I'm really loving how it's looking so far. So this will get finished, just it's not in the cards for right now. So what am I going to knit for the KL, you say? I don't think I brought it over. I'm going to finish my crocheted blanket, car seat cover, whatever I want to call it. I didn't really have a name for it. I think I can get that done. I can at least get all of the pieces done and then kind of do the border. I wanted to ask crocheters what they thought. It's a hexagon pattern, so it's little hexagons that are all pieced together, but I'm wondering what to do for the border. Do normally hexagon blankets, are they left hexagons and no border, or is there a way to pick up and go around? Maybe Catherine from Crafternoon Treats, maybe you can answer that question. I'm really not sure what to do with it, and I don't know how much yarn I'm going to have left either. I've kind of got to measure it to see if it's going to fit over the car seat, the knees of a baby in the car seat to begin with. But I think I can get that done. It's something that I can do in, like my Cozy Memories blanket, that I can just do a little bit at a time, a little square. So I can do a hexagon at a time, and then the next time I get a chance, I can add one on. I think that would be a better project for me right now. So we'll see how we go. So the end date is going to be May 30th. So you have until the end of the month to finish a whip that you've had that's been long standing and post a picture of it in the FO thread. Now, you're going to like this because Andrea from Twisted Daisy Fibers contacted me and said, I'd love to send you a bag, one of my bags for the giveaway in your knit along. And I said, oh, that'd be awesome. So Andrea sent a lovely bag, and this is going to be the prize. So this is Twisted Daisy Fiber. She is on Etsy. I'll show you her little tag. These are super cute bags and really well made. She gives you a little daisy progress keeper. I love the D-ring and the little handle that's detachable. All of her bags seem to be two colors, one on the top and one on the bottom. And then check out the inside, it's reversed. So this is the fiber that was on the bottom, and that one is on the top. And actually, there are little cards in here too. So she is Twisted Daisy Fibers, and she's on Instagram and Ravelry as well. You can check her out. Now, not only did Andrea send this to give away, she sent me one too. I was so excited when I opened the bag because I had been on her site looking when she posted on Instagram that she was now selling bags, and I had one kind of faved, and it was gray background with birds on it, and the birds were kind of gray and yellow, and then it had stripes down here that were gray and yellow. Well, the bag that she sent was gray and yellow. It wasn't the bird one, but it's my favorite colors, so I had to keep this one. And then this one is for the giveaway. I did love this one though. That fabric, that chevron, is so appealing to me as well. But this is the one I decided to keep. So those are the fabric. Again, a little daisy. And then the reverse fabrics on the inside. I've got stuff in here, so you can't see the other one, but very cool. Thank you so much, Andrea. I love my bag. And whoever wins this is going to love their bag too. Very cool. And Andrea is in Alberta. She used to actually live here, and now she's in Alberta. So, yeah, kind of cool. First prize for the first KO. All right. The next section, my bad, I have done very well in, I might say. A lot of you know that I had said that I was going to use from stash and not try and buy much of anything. So I was given this. I didn't buy it. I did, however, have a gift certificate for my local yarn store. And it's been in my bag for a while. And I went to see Sarah, who works at the LYS. And she kind of showed me some linen yarn, and I kind of fell in love. So I had to get it with my gift certificate, so I didn't buy it. This is El Lino by Shop a Wool, and it's a linen, almost like a tape yarn. Now, this is 150 meters for 50 grams. Now, I know I'm in Canada, but I don't go in meters for yarn. Yards are so much easier for me to understand. So anyway, it's a little bit over, it's probably 170 yards-ish. They did have a gorgeous gray and a gorgeous blue, but they only had one skein of each left. And the pattern that I have in mind for this needs 4. So I bought 4. I did a swatch. My swatch is way off, so I'm going to have to re-swatch again, but this is kind of what it looks like knit up. Those of you that haven't knit with linen before will know that it's very crunchy when you start knitting with it, but once you wash it and wear it, and every time after that you wear it, it gets softer and softer. And this actually isn't as crunchy as the Euroflax is in the ball. It's quite soft. So that will be interesting. The pattern that I have in mind for this is the Linum Tea, and it's by Bristol Ivy. It was in the knit scene summer last year, I believe. But that's kind of the plan for this. So if I can get Gauge with it, then I'll be off to the races. So the last thing that I want to talk to you about is a TV series I've been watching called The Crimson Field. Not a lot of people know about this. It's a BBC series, and it follows three nurses that are working during the war. The main character is actually Charlie Chaplin's granddaughter, which is kind of cool. And there are a couple of actors and actresses in there that I also recognize, like Mosley from Downton Abbey. I'm not sure the actor's real name, but he is in there, as well as an actress who played on Coronation Street as well quite a few years ago. So it's been kind of neat to see them in other roles. So I was really enjoying this series, and as you know, BBC series only have about 6 or 7 episodes. So I got to the end of episode 6, and I thought, oh, I'll just look up and see when the next one's coming out, or if I can download it or something. And the series is no longer on. They were expecting to go for another season, and then it was cut for some reason. So it was kind of sad. I was enjoying it. It was getting good, and I thought that the next series would get even better, but it was not to be. But if you would like to check out The Crimson Field, it's worth a watch. It was kind of neat to see. But if you have any ideas of any other series that I could watch, I do love BBC series. I love Call the Midwife. I love Downton. I love anything historical like that. I'd love to know if you have any others in mind that I would like. I have a lot of time on my hands right now when I'm feeding, but I can't do anything with my hands because they're occupied. So I can turn something on and watch it, basically. I'd like to find another series that can keep me occupied. And I think that's all that I have this week. So join us in the Ravelry group if you'd like. And if you'd like to ask me any questions, feel free. And I'd love for you to join our KAL because you could win a beautiful bag. And hopefully I will see you in a couple of weeks. Hopefully not more than that, as long as I can get my timing in. So have a wonderful week, and I shall see you soon. Thanks for watching. Bye.